Well, it's Friday and it is the last day. It is the last day of the first month of 2020, last day of the month January 2020. Today is Friday, the 31st of January 2020. Thank you very much for joining us this morning on the platform. The platform is the pinnacle of all discussions, and of course, we're live on Flow 94.9 FM. It's a program that encourages socio-political discussions as it concerns Nigeria and also as it concerns the state, APGA State. It comes on radio every Monday, every Wednesday, and also every Friday. My name is Michael Oni, and today we are turning our attention, we're turning our focus on the God's own state, APGA State. It's about Arochukwu State constituency. Recently, there was a rerun election in that particular constituency, and of course, the appeal court sitting in Owerri upheld the decision of the governorship and the State Assembly Tribunal, which earlier ordered for a rerun in some polling units in Ututu Ward, Aro Ward 1, and some units in Abam and Ututu, all in this constituency. And a rerun election was conducted. A winner was declared, and that winner is the candidate of the All Progressive Grand Alliance, Honorable Mike UKOHA. And of course, he's very much with me in the studio this morning. We will be discussing issues as it affects his constituency. I don't know why I keep saying constituency, but his constituency. This morning, we will discuss issues as it affects his constituency, the one he represents at the APGA State House of Assembly, and of course, issues as it affects party politics, especially All Progressive Grand Alliance in APGA State. Welcome to the show this morning, Honorable. Good morning to you, Sir Mike UKOHA.
Thank you very much, and then good morning to you, and good morning to the good people of Arochukwu, and good morning to Abians in general.
Well, thank you very much for joining us this morning on the program. Sir, congratulations on your victory at the rerun election. And of course, did you at any point fear that the election could go the other way?
In election, despite your confidence, anything could happen along the line.
Okay.
But along the line, I was still optimistic, but very careful to ensure that we do not misstep. So eventually, God's will came to pass.
Okay, let's quickly take a look at the first election, the one that took you to the House of Assembly before the rerun. Your opposition, I mean, the member of the People's Democratic Party in that election, Mr. Eric Aso Kalu, saying, well, the election was marred by irregularities and overvoting. We can now talk about it because it's no longer in the courtroom. So, do you agree with him, therefore, because he took the outcome of that election to the courtroom?
Basically, he went to court because he was dissatisfied with the outcome.
Okay.
And then the tribunal looked at it and said, well, let's go back to 10 units to reconfirm the actual winner, which is the tribunal's decision. I felt also dissatisfied with the tribunal decision, and then I went to appeal court, Owerri, and the appeal court reaffirmed the decision of the tribunal. Then at that point, we just have to go to the field and let the people decide on who is the actual winner. And the people reconfirmed on Saturday that they actually voted for me.
So he is claiming that there were reports of violence and overvoting in some of those units cancelled by the courts.
In the recent one?
No, in the previous one. Before you
in
went
the
for
previous
the rerun
one.
election.
Okay,
So.
First of all, the electoral guideline actually left open the issue of returning results at what time.
Okay.
The guideline stipulated that elections will start at 8 o'clock and end at 2 p.m. but did not indicate when coalition at each level, especially at the LGA level, will end. In what happened in March 9th was that the 3 units in Ututu refused, the polling officer refused to return the result until the result was announced by the returning officer. So there was no result in those units. So election cannot be perpetual. There must be a closure. So the returning officer announced the result before the polling officers turned in the results.
Okay.
So the election was peaceful. There was no violence in the 3 units in Ututu. But the result came in very late. And I'm calling on the National Assembly and also the chairman to address the issue of closure. There must be a closure. Election.
I don't know. Permit me to cut in here. The issue of electoral reform in Nigeria. I don't know how you want to rate the electoral system in Nigeria, the one you've been a part of.
Election in Nigeria is always this last election was done very well.
Okay,
I would like to commend.
Election.
Yes, the rerun was done very well. I'll commend the chairman or the resident commissioner in Umuahia, Dr. Ilo. He did an excellent work, and I'm so glad that the chairman is already introducing to the National Assembly where the issue that we went to court. What took us to court is the issue of margin of lead. The margin of lead principle is good, but wrongly applied. It should not be margin of lead between the registered voters, but it should be the margin of lead between accredited voters. And now the Independent Electoral Commission is now presenting before the National Assembly that the margin of lead principle should focus on the margin of lead between accredited voters and not registered voters, which is those that registered, those who couldn't vote, dead people, all those kind of things in the database. So I'm happy that they actually captured that error that took us to court and took other many contestants in several states to court. Issue of margin of lead principle. So we envisage that in 2023, the National Assembly would have corrected the margin of lead principle.
Okay, I would like to take you on some national issues, but let's go back to the opposition in Abia State. In this Abia State House of Assembly, you are just two from the All Progressive Grand Alliance. How strong do you think the opposition in Abia State is?
Well, in the House of Assembly, we are 5.
Okay, 5 from the opposition.
From the opposition, 3 members of APGA and 2 members of the APC. The ruling party, which is the PDP, has a majority in the House of Assembly. So we are working in a very peaceful atmosphere under the leadership of the Speaker. They listen to our concerns.
Okay.
If there are issues to be discussed at the executive level. And I would like to commend the members of the PDP for taking into consideration our concerns as opposition. And those issues that we tend to bring up are considered, and such things are reflected into any debate we are having in the House.
So you have a smooth Abia State House of Assembly.
As of today, there's a smooth
relationship
between the opposition and the majority, the PDP, under the leadership of the Speaker.
All right. Well, if you've just joined us, it is Flow 94.9 FM, Friday edition of the platform right here. And of course, we're having a conversation here with Sir Mike Ukoha. He just won a rerun election in Arochukwu State constituency, and of course is representing Arochukwu State constituency at the Abia State House of Assembly. Now, I would like to take you on the division. It seems there is a division in your party. There are internal wranglings in the All Progressive Grand Alliance, which seems unending as Augustine Ehimere-led ESCO is insisting on the suspension of Dr. Alex Oti, the governorship candidate of the party in the last general elections.
What you said is true, but it's not peculiar to APGA. Factions of different group of interests are very peculiar to Nigerian political structure because of our limited knowledge of what democracy is all about. So there's always internal divisions, but our job as politicians is to, manage those divisions, bring reality to focus. Yes, APGA, there are issues in APGA, and I believe that we are working hard to resolve those issues of differences, and then we'll come out in a very strong position.
Okay, as it stands now, who is the party leader? I mean, the All Progressive Grand Alliance leader in Abia State?
In Abia State, with reference to my own election, I work with all different factions.
Okay.
So the point is that it's a matter. I don't think it's a major issue as far as Arochukwu State Constituency is concerned. In Arochukwu, everybody that belongs to APGA work very well with the leadership of Nkem, Obasi, Okidenyi, Madam Karo Kora for the national. Everybody with Dr. Alex.
You're accepting that there are factions. You're working with both factions.
No, there are factions in all political parties in Nigeria. I have made it clear. It's not peculiar to APGA. So what is going on in APGA is witnessed in everywhere. And that is the growth of democracy. So along the line, even in Western world, there are also it's pure interest. And what I'm saying this morning is that, yes, there are factions, but we are closing rank. We all work together in Arochukwu, in Aba, and we won the election. Okay. So irrespective of the factions, every member of APGA work with his heart to ensure that both of us won and we came out as winners. So the issue of action is actually not important at this level because everybody worked very hard. So I think there is love coming back, there's understanding, and moving forward now, we're going to close the ranks and we're going to have a clear leadership.
Okay, Honorable Mike UKOHA, you will agree with me that a formidable opposition is definitely very good to keep the ruling party in check, to give a good governance to the people. So do you think with the internal wranglings, I mean the factions, although you said it's not a bad thing, do you think it is right to have those internal wranglings and still have a formidable opposition?
Well, I would say yes, because it depends on how you carry on the followers. You know, the division actually is not affecting the governance. The fact that those of us that are in the House and also members of the National are working very closely at that level.
Okay.
And then we are also trying to carry on all those interest groups to the State House of Assembly, to the National. It is issue of policy. There might be different views on how you approach it, but as leaders, we must have a listening ears and should be able to articulate the direction of different factions and come up with a homogeneous way to move forward.
Okay, great. I would like to take you on Arochukwu State constituency, especially now that you're representing. It's been affirmed now there is no shaking as it concerns your representation in Arochukwu State constituency. What exactly do you have for the people?
Well, I'm going to offer my good people of Arochukwu State constituency a quality representation. Quality in the sense that politics is actually, you are representing people. And one of the things I've told them is that I will hold regular meetings with my constituents to inform them what's going on at the National Assembly, at the House of Assembly, and what the governor is doing. It is my responsibility to take the governor's program back to my people, listen to them, and bring in their concerns back to the states. Good example, the people of Isu have issues with the bordering states.
Yes, with the
when I met with them before March, or right after the elections, I took those issues to the governor. And both of this House and the executive worked very well, and we brought in the National National Management Commission, and they were able to provide relief materials to the people of Isu. And the next step is going to the boundary adjustment. And I have contacted my colleague at the Cross-River State. We are going to be meeting soon to move to Abuja and bring in the national boundary adjustment.
Okay.
As we are doing this, we are going to be informing the executive, especially the deputy governor, who is in charge of boundary issues. So the point is that I will bring in quality and result-oriented to my people. In terms of women, we are going to empower women, those in petty trading, provide access to financing through microfinance banks that is already established in Arochukwu. We are holding a seminar first week of March with a financial resource person to encourage them, counsel them, submit applications, bring in the relevant documentation in order to qualify and access the money. One thing is to have the bank, and that is to access it. As a rep, I'm going to encourage them to make sure that my people access that microfinance bank, which is to focus on small-scale business people. On the youth, I'm holding a meeting with the youth as quickly as possible. Those that are interested in learning skills, we are going to support them from my office, pay for them. Those interested in motor parts, we're going to send them to Onitsha. Those interested in mechanic, electrical work, we want to empower the youth that are interested. I'm making it very clear. Youth that are interested will be empowered. So it is an opportunity. I'm encouraging them to rush and take that opportunity.
Okay.
So I will bring result-oriented representation to my people, and they will be proud. I'm doing this because they have reconfirmed that actually they voted for me in March, and I will not disappoint them for that trust. It's a huge trust, and I'm holding that trust to my heart.
So how do you intend to achieve all this with limited resources?
The resources are not limited,
Okay.
because I believe that the resources are meant for the people. And when you deploy those resources to, for example, if you look at the skill acquisition program, the central bank has designated certain centers in Abia State. And as I speak, Abia has 5 centers accredited by the central bank, but the people are not aware. So since I'm aware now, my job is to let them know. If you go to this center, the cost of training is very minimal. 3,000, 5,000, and you go for a 6-month program. Where else can you get such a program? For 3,000 or 5,000 naira, you go and learn how to become a bread maker. And the central bank will fund it. They will fund it by not giving you the money, but they will pay those vendors for your machine, for your generator, for your leasing space. So these are programs that are out there for Abians to take advantage. But we, the honorable members, must take these programs to our constituencies.
Okay.
So I've been to the Women's Center, which is one of the accredited centers in Omaya. And they're going to tell me when the program will start. Actually, one person has gone to fashion already. I have a member of my constituency who have gone through the fashion program. So the next thing is for the banks, through the central bank, to make those funds available, not to you, but to the vendors.
Okay. I would like to take you on the relationship between your arm of the government, that's the State House of Assembly, that's the legislative arm of the government, and the executive, where you have the ruling party, PDP-led government in Abia State. What has the relationship been like?
Well, I would say it's very cordial, to the best of my knowledge, but we have a very dynamic Speaker of the House, and then our job is purely going to be policy making and oversight. The budget was presented in December, and the House worked tediously to ensure that the budget was approved before the end of the year.
Now, there is this fear that the budget was approved probably to meet up with the budget cycle, so that it will come like the federal government had theirs and at the national level had theirs. So there is this fear, if it was well scrutinized, the figures were well scrutinized, if it wasn't just presented to the House of Assembly, and it was passed into law just because you want to make it a law before we get to January. That's actually the first time it will be passed into law by December.
I disagree with you. Let me make the information very clear to Abians. This 7th House is a group of dynamic, intelligent group of Abians. If you like, go and do your research. The 7th House is determined to offer Abians the best.
Okay.
When the budget was presented, the members of the committee worked from morning till 9 p.m. Ask any permanent secretary or any commissioner. Everybody came, every department came and presented their budget under the leadership of the Right Honorable Njoku. The people couldn't rest, members. The budget were properly scrutinized. I'm assuring Abians of that. It's not a question of no. The budget were properly scrutinized, amendments were offered, and they went back and did corrections before the final budget was passed. And the next level that is a major concern to the House. Budget has been passed, but we want to ensure that there's execution of the budget.
Implementation.
Thank you. So we want to increase the percentage of what has been approved or done in the previous years. There are certain years that you approve budgets, only 20% or less than 20% is implementation. But under the present leadership with the Speaker of the House, we want to work with the governor to ensure that, yes, we have a dynamic governor, we have a governor that can at least implement what the House has approved. So that's the next level we are going to go into, implementation.
Okay, there was a time during the course of last year when the state government was battling with payment of salaries like Arochukwu College of Education and Abia State Polytechnic and some other institutions in Abia State. And there were committees constituted by the Abia State House of Assembly. Then there was this fear that, well, the legislative arm is usurping the powers of the executive arm of the government. I don't know how you want to react to that. Then the committee came up with some recommendations. I don't know how far with the recommendations. And of course, is it in place for the legislative arm of the government to come up with committees like that?
Yes, I will say yes, because as a matter of fact, the House of Assembly is also a group of representatives from different local governments.
Okay.
And it is within the Constitution, the right of the House to look into parastatals, look into college of education, look into organs and agencies of the government. That's why we are representing the people. So we at that point, we weren't happy that you have a body and a group of people that you call staff. They go to work every month, you don't pay them. So the House, the Speaker said, no, we need to constitute a committee to look into why those things are going on and what do we offer to the governor. That's the essence of the committees. We are not fighting with the governor. We are there to help the governor to run the state perfectly. Then the committees went and looked at why. And we found out in some institutions, the staff, the teaching staff and the non-teaching staff are greater than the students. Those things are not workable in any modern society.
So there were recommendations.
Yeah, there were recommendations. And then we said, no, if the teaching staff and non-teaching staff are greater than what those you are teaching, you have to reduce the number so that it becomes functional.
I'm so particular about Arochukwu's College of Education, where you're representing. What is the situation of that College of Education as it stands now? We understand sometimes they will be in session, sometimes they won't be in session because of salary payment, lack of fund, and some other difficulties.
In terms of Arochukwu, the provost is doing his best. From the latest information I got before I was focusing on my elections, is that those that are working now are being paid. And there might be issues to look at those that are maybe wrongly. If anybody is wrongly dismissed, there might be a review. But as of now, I will need to get back to the provost because the election just concluded on Saturday, and look into whether there might be another opportunity. But so far, the strength of the workers they are getting their salary every month.
All right. I would like to take you on some national issues to Honorable Mike UKOHA. He's the member representing Arochukwu State Constituency at the Abia State House of Assembly on this Friday edition, the last edition for the month and also the last edition for the week, right here on Flow 94.9 FM. It is the pinnacle of all discussions. At this juncture, I would like to take some reactions from you. Call me on 0808 182 6949. Also 0811 605 2949. Also drop messages on 0906 510 8289. It is the platform Friday edition right here on Flow 94.9 FM. Hello, good morning to you.
Sorry, my brother Michael Oni.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, Michael Oni. My name is Owakochi Debere.
You're welcome.
Thank you. My honorable member, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
First and foremost, yes, I really want to congratulate you for you coming out victorious. I believe in any true democracy that there is no opposition, formidable opposition, that democracy does not work. At the same time, I want to commend you for not jumping shift ever since you were elected under the platform of APGA. I am that of PDP, but I believe I believe in a very strong opposition. It will really make the government to do the needful. Although in Abia State, we don't really need a position to work because Governor Kezi Bazo has been on top of his game doing the needful to make sure that Abia State moves forward. And at the same time, I want to appreciate the Speaker of Abia House of Assembly, Engineer Chinedu Moji. He's really doing a very wonderful work, sincerely speaking. And I thank you, my brother. Despite all the wrangling in your party and all the rest of them, factions and all that, you have decided to remain there. It's good. Sincerely speaking, I like your sincerity in APGA.
All right,
that is just one thing I like about you. And most of the things you have marshaled out about your constituents and all the rest of them, my brother, God will give you the grace for you to actualize them.
All right,
not by your power.
Thank you for your contribution this morning. Your time is up.
Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hello, good morning to you.
Hello.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The Honorable, good morning.
Good morning.
You're welcome, Baba Gonas.
I'm happy the way you play your politics. You're really true keyboard man. Because you are now the opposition party in Abia. There's a choice you made this morning. I'm more than happy. You are a big politician who know the right thing to do for your own people. In respect of Abia, without any opposition, the government people cannot wake up. There must only be critics. If you are, even though you are doing good, doing bad, people will not criticize you. You will not touch up. That's what I believe in my own. No. Anybody is the head of affairs. If you don't get a critic, don't get any critic. Watch out. You are not doing well or you are doing bad.
All right.
God bless you. There's no other one there. The way you talk as a good politician, not the bad one.
All right, Baba Gonas.
Do them well. Almighty God bless you.
Thank you. You too.
Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, Michael Doni. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Michael, and I'm Chimu Korafo from Okigwe here in Imo State.
You're welcome.
My Honorable, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
My Honorable, name I'm from Omunoch, Algier. I'm from Ngodi Sochi. My Honorable, see one thing, I like you so much. How I wish we have other politicians like you. You remain what you are. Right from the time I know you in APGA, you have never changed your color. You see, we have politicians and we have politicians. You are one of those politicians, Emulate, who never jump ship, who remain what he is, and who believe in his party's ideology. I wish that God will help you to go far. So, my brother, I want you to use your position. You see what is going on in Abia State? That is our own constituency. Salaries are not being paid. Look at Umunoch and look at your local government, Arochukwu. Please and please, if there's anything you use your kind office to do to make sure that things work in Abia. Everywhere in Nigeria, Abia is the topic. The worst, you know it. To any radio station, ask anybody in Nigeria in the southeast, Abia is moving backward and backward. Nothing to compare in anything. Thank and God bless you.
All right, thank you for your contribution. Hello, good morning to you. Hello. Yes, you're live on radio. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Mike.
Good morning to you.
And good morning, my leader.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, my name is Mr. Tekwa, sir.
All right. Welcome. I can hear you loud and clear. You're welcome.
I am Tekwa from Adam. I just want to say congratulations to my able leader there.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. God will guide you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for your contribution. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Michael.
Good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, Honorable, good morning, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, this is Comrade Uche calling from Factory Road.
All right, you're welcome, comrade.
Yeah, Honorable, I want to commend you for your resolute during the just concluded Arochukwu State constituency election. You are. I must say, you are one in a million, because we hardly get politicians who always stood by their word. So I really commend you for standing firm against all odds. Finally, I want to draw your attention on two critical roads in our constituency. I'm from Oheke Ward, Ijimabam. as you are aware, since 2015, the state government started the construction of 6.8 kilometer Idimabam Bende Road. And after 5 years, almost 5 years now, that road has not been completed. In fact, it seems that road has been abandoned. Another one is the Okobo and Ruchukundo Krekabam Road. I want you to use this opportunity, this mandate that was overwhelmingly given to you, to draw the attention of the state government on these two critical roads for them to finish it before 2023, because those roads are economic roads. These majority of the people residing in these locations I mentioned now are farmers. So without putting those roads in order, I don't think we'll get much there in terms of economic development. God bless you as you come on board once again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Keep your reactions coming. 0808 182 6949, 0811 605 2949. Especially if you're listening from Arochukwu State Constituency here in Abia State. It is the opportunity for you to call your representative and, of course, bear your mind on any issue affecting you. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
My name is Otemba.
Okay.
I'm calling from Momahe.
You're welcome.
I want to thank the honorable member in the House.
Thank you very much.
We were at the Madonna for his campaign launch. I know he's going to make a good representation. And what I want him to do, I know that they are very few in the House. There is not much they can do. But however, as an opposition, you need to put across the interest of the people he is representing to the government. That is the essence of an opposition party. One, let him know that whenever he is asked a question, who is the leader of the party in the state, it is Alex Oti, Dr. Alex Oti. Without Alex, there will be no APGA in other states. So let everybody know about that. So in the case of the welfare of the people you are representing, like the callers have said, some of the callers have said, pensioners are not being paid. And the part of the pensioners, they are from Aruchukwu. So you people should do something to tell the government to look, to take the welfare of the pensioners very seriously. They are really suffering. That's the oversight functions of the people in the house. So do something. I know you are capable of doing that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I know you want to react to some of the calls, especially the roads in your constituency. The word caller that mentioned the roads in your constituency.
Yeah. Yes. I share the concerns of the callers this morning, especially on the issue of infrastructure. I totally agree with the caller, Uche, that mentioned the Okobo Road. That road, Okobo Ndiokereke Aruchukwu Road, and the Idimabam Road, the 6.8 kilometers. The two roads are very essential roads in Abia State. And then I just want to, in politics, you don't just go blow your horns, but those roads are in my heart. And I will do my best in these 4 years to see what we can do to make sure the roads are functional. Because with that, if the roads are good, we should be able to bring out a lot of products from the farmers. Thank you. On the issue of welfare, to the not only to Arochukwu people, but to the Abians. As I said earlier, the House is committed, especially the issue of pensioners. The Speaker and other members of the House will be looking into that. vis-a-vis the resources we have. Because
you're a member of the committee set up by the Abia State House of Assembly, that committee that looked at, investigated the Abia State University Teaching Hospital, ABA, and the Hospital Management Board. That committee headed by Honorable Uzo DK Aaron. And you're a member of the committee. Honorable Binai Chita was also a member of that committee. I would like to hear from you the recommendations made by your committee to the Abia State House of Assembly, maybe after responding to the callers first.
Yes, on the issue of the welfare, salaries, and other things, I guess in 2020 there will be a remarkable improvement. Based on all the comments the callers have made available this morning, we are fully aware of these issues, and it's not only peculiar to Arochukwu, but across the states. So that would be my comment. Yes, I was a member of that committee that looked into the Abia State University Teaching Hospital at Aba and the Hospital Management Board. One of the cornerstone of that recommendation we did was the issue of designating 3 hospitals.
Okay.
In the 3 senatorial districts. Those hospitals, especially Arochukwu, maybe the one at Abia Central, and Abia South. We recommended that so that we should introduce the public-private partnership in managing of those hospitals. For example, the one in Arochukwu, the Arochukwu people in diaspora are supporting those hospitals under the Hospital Management Board.
Okay.
And we want to borrow from that example and said these 3 hospitals are now in the hands of the government and the private sector. There will be a change, because sometimes we notice that
not to be managed only by the
government,
but
by the private sector.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the committee actually emphasized that recommendation.
They also had their own fair share of salary payment, shortfall in salary payment, especially the Hospital Management Board. I'm aware that they protested severally.
Yes, and we were concerned with the revenue. You get the point. So if you run a hospital and you have an encounter with patients, with your medical staff, and the revenue issue is low, there's a problem.
Okay.
Because when people go there, they have their cards, they pay for medication, they pay for all those services. And that is why we want a template using 3 in the 3 senatorial districts to bring in the private sector to see a difference, because the private sector is more organized, it's more managed, because the individuals are investing. They're not coming free. They're going to bring their resources, invest in those hospitals, paint them, refurbish them, and manage it with that 60-40. Thank you. Yes.
The government.
Yes, I have experience in hospital management personally. So because I've been involved, and I believe that if you bring in investors with the government and give out 3 hospitals in 3 senatorial districts, we are going to witness a difference.
Your recommendations, have they been laid on the floor of the House of Assembly?
No, that will be in 2020.
Okay.
In 2020, it's going to be in the House of the Whole.
Okay. All right, let's take more reactions on the phone lines. Hello, good morning to you. We lost that. 0808-182-6949. 0811-605-2949. I wanted to react to something. Members of the House of Assembly jumping ship. I'm sure you're aware of what happened in Imo State after the Supreme Court judgment. Now, the PDP, the APC rather, now is having the majority in the House of Assembly, and it was not that the case was not like that before the Supreme Court judgment. Immediately after that Supreme Court judgment, cross-carpeting started, especially from members of the House of Assembly. And the APC came out, the PDP rather came out and said, well, those of you leaving our party, you've lost your seat because you're representing the constituency. You're not representing yourself as an individual. You're representing your constituency under your political party. I don't know how you want to react to that, Honorable.
That's part of the democracy in Nigeria. And then the democracy in Nigeria is growing. And then we are witnessing people crossing carpets because of undue influence, either based on principle or based on whatever it could be. But it would have been a wonderful democratic process, or that those people didn't cross, so that the governor is working with other members of the opposition. And that is the beauty of democracy. But in this case, I don't know why they cross-carpeted to APC. They know their reasons for doing that.
Okay.
But it's part of the growth.
But it's been said that you may not cross until you have internal wranglings, you have division in your party. That should be the only reason you should cross to another party.
Yes.
So there are internal wranglings. Are you considering moving from the All Progressive Grand Alliance maybe to the PDP or to the APC anytime soon?
As of now, I am a member of APGA.
Okay.
And I'm elected under APGA. I'll remain to serve my people. Let me.
Despite the factions in your parties,
I would like to make something very clear.
Okay.
Parties are there. There are platforms, but the individuals are the people responsible. The party is not working for you. The party is a platform for you to contest. Your achievements will tell about you, the way you serve your people. You might this APC, PDP, APGA, or the 92, or there are platforms. You get the point. So the key issue is the individual, your representation, your work. Is it measurable? Can people feel the dividends under your leadership? So you might be a bad person in APC, you remain a bad politician. You go to PDP, you still remain a bad politician. You go to APGA. So it is not the parties, it is the individual.
Okay. All right, let's take more reactions. Hello, good morning to you.
Yeah, Michael Oli.
Yes, good morning.
My wonderful honorable there. When our Chimokraf,
your name, please. Okay.
When our former governor TLG defected from PPA to PDP, was there any crisis in PPA then? And look at Saraki and Dogara. Look at all the people. Oh, you see, this thing is synonymous with PDP. You see in Imo State, my honorable, most of these people who defected, they defected from their. Look at the speaker right now, Imo State speaker. He won election under APGA, your party. And all of them, they went to PDP. And today they left. So this issue of defection, my honorable, please speak briefly on it. It's synonymous with PDP since 1999. So God bless you.
All right. Thank you for your contribution. Hello, good morning to you. We lost that. On the SMS line, Prince Willow Swago from Umunachi Obowo says, Dear Honorable, you're indeed an epitome of hope to opposition. A vox populi, that's the voice of the people, and equally vox Dei, that's the voice of God. Let the cross carpeters in Imo State emulate your steadfastness. Okay. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Michael.
Good morning, Radio Senator.
Yeah, good morning, Honorable.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is Radio Senator calling from Government College, Mumbai.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much. Honorable, we are happy to have you this morning, at least for you to talk to us and then for you to receive our tears and cry back to the house for them to do the needful. Because all this while, you people there have not been doing the needful, especially for the welfare of the citizens. What am I talking about here? Which others have not said? In terms of salary payment, your administration of the present government have not been doing well, especially in salary payment. Look at that. At the old 10-month salary. 10 months. Leave allowance for 30 years. Their minimum wage of 2011 has not been paid to them up to this time. I'm talking about secondary school teachers. And they are still putting out their pay in order for the children to learn in other states. And you people have never raised that alarm that how can teachers' salary not be paid? And what type of penetration are we pursuing? How can we achieve? We have not heard it from the members of the House. So what we are trying to say is that if you look at the budget of the year, every budget you people do, you people do not follow it up. Oversight functions are not being carried out by your house.
All right, quickly wrap up your thoughts.
We have backlogs of salaries not being paid. We have pensioners not being paid. All these things are because you people
have neglected that oversight function. Please, you people should sit up. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks.
Well, he's asking the members of the Abia State House of Assembly to sit up. Honorable, I don't know how you want to react to that. Implementation and also the oversight function, the issue of welfare of workers in Abia State. Those are the high point of his call.
Yeah, thank you very much, the radio senator.
Yes, he calls himself
That's a good
senator.
destination. I love that. Well, this kind of program is very interesting to me. If Flow FM would make me a regular participant, I would love it.
You're welcome.
Because
You're welcome to Flow FM. Sir.
I am going back to the house with major concerns from Abians: salary payment, leave allowance, payment of salary, oversight functions with reference to budget implementation, especially pensioners' payment. So at least when I go back to the house,
you make reference to some of the callers too.
I'm going to share with my honorable members.
Okay.
With my honorable members, my experience this morning, and then I will make sure that these concerns are tabled before the floor of the house. Thank you very much for this, and I love it.
All right, thank you very much, Honorable Michael UKOHA, for being part of the program this morning. The honorable member representing Arochukwu State Constituency at the Abia State House of Assembly. I want to really appreciate your time on the program this morning, the platform on Flow 94.9 FM.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, my name is Michael Oni. The pinnacle of all discussions returns on Monday. It will be a new month. We will be coming up with a new topic and also discussing issues as it affected their nation, Nigeria, and also as it affected their state, Abia State. Many thanks for being part once again. Join us later. The program will be on YouTube, and of course you can catch the recorded version, of course the video version of the program, the visual version of the program on our YouTube page, www.youtube.com/FlowFMTV. On behalf of the producer of the program, Samson Eze, do have a wonderful weekend.